Hello, today is Monday, August 14th, 2023. I'm Adam Hartog. Sitting next to me, as always, is my court-appointed attorney, Thomas Frey, and this is episode 17 of the Breaks Down podcast, brought to you exclusively by 528 Collectibles. We have a fun episode for you guys today. We're going to talk a little soccer, a little football. We're going to do awards. We're going to do last take, worst take. Let's jump right into it. Okay, recording this just before 9 o'clock because we were trying to fill up a break on TikTok from earlier today. National Treasures, cool product. Do you want to talk about that Sam Howell hit? Because that was a legit monster.
Yeah, Sam Howell 1 of 1 RPA Shield. It's probably the biggest card we've ever we've ever broken. It's an absolute monster. If you haven't seen it, go check out our Instagram. My brother tried to help us out. We started a little campaign with a reel. We got like 20 people to tag Sam Howell in it, but to come on the podcast, but he hasn't gotten back to us yet. So if you know Sam Howell, get him in contact with us. We'd love to have him on the pod. But yeah, it's an absolute monster of a card.
Do you have a comp on what something like that might go for on the market?
There was a YouTube video. We were in a top 10 hits video of the week, and I think he comped it at 50 to 60 grand.
Oh my God.
So I'm not sure if that's raw or graded, but I mean, it's absolutely insane. And if he has any semblance of a career, like as a starter, even if it's not astounding, having a 1 of 1 RPA Shield of anyone is a big hit. So, especially from National Treasures. It's like the holy grail of boxes and cards. It's, yeah, crazy.
Rue, can you look up what his signing bonus is? I'm curious if the comp price is like, it's probably too low of a signing bonus. He was a late pick, though.
Yeah, I would imagine it was more than that. Probably a couple $100,000,
I would hope it's more than that.
361,000.
Okay, so 300,000.
A sixth of his signing bonus.
Yeah, that's good math, I think. I trust you. I can't do that.
6 times 6.
36.
Yeah.
I learned that one. Yeah, all right. I learned that.
Just that one.
Yeah, that specific times table. I remember that little trick. It rhymes or something. No, it doesn't even rhyme.
It's just like, you just kind of know it. It sticks. The Premier League is back.
Okay, yeah, it is.
Saturday, I was betting pretty much from the time I got here till I left. I bet Newcastle and Luton Town to draw. They both got destroyed. I bet Luton Town because I don't like Brighton, and they were playing Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet Newcastle to draw because they finished in a Champions League spot last year, and they're actually like legit, but I thought they might have like just a disappointing start based on nothing other than
just
I wanted to bet something, and they won 5-1.
Luton Town should have kept Horvath. That's on them.
That is on them.
I heard their reasoning for letting him go. Their coach said, I love him to death. I am grateful for everything he did to get us here, but I just felt like we should go another way.
Huh.
Like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
That's
You just didn't want him anymore? That's like, Jesus.
Someone on the team, I forgot his name, is the first player to go from the National League to the Premier League with the same club.
That's pretty cool.
It's sick, yeah.
That's
Could be
really
like
cool.
a Wrexham thing, but
yeah,
they might just have like a total inflow of talent that replaces some of the guys.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea played on Sunday. They played Liverpool at the Bridge. They drew 1-1. So, okay. Last year, Chelsea, it was easily the worst year that I've ever followed them. The new owners took over in May 2022. They started under Tuchel, fired him like 4 games in, brought in Graham Potter from Brighton. It was never, ever good. Like, it was a disaster the whole time. Fired him. His assistant took over for like a couple games, and they brought in Frank Lampard as caretaker manager, who saw it through the rest of the season. Then Pochettino came in. They had a huge, like, video game-like clear out of players in the summer. Like, all the old guys, Mount gone, Mendy gone, Koulibaly gone.
Excuse me. You're forgetting the most important guy who's gone.
I said old guys, but yeah, Pulisic gone, Havertz gone, Azpilicueta gone, Kovacic gone, Jorginho left halfway through last year. Anyway, point is, they've just totally went full, like, I'm just going to get all the best young players like you would in FIFA or Madden or 2K or the show.
Any of the games.
Yeah, yes, yes. They, last January, set a Premier League record transfer when they got Enzo Fernandez. They just broke that again with the signing of Moises Caicedo from Brighton. Pochettino, for his whole career, has favored a 4-2-3-1 formation, 4-3-2-1 formation. I'm confusing myself. But
does he do like a double pivot, 2 CDMs? Or?
Yes, and that's why.
So that's 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, so they're going to have Enzo, Romeo Lavia, and Caicedo, who is, by all accounts, as good of a CDM as you can find at that age, 21. He's poised to be the best player from Ecuador ever.
Not for nothing. I couldn't imagine a better mentor for him than Conte, though. It would have been cool if they could have kept him.
It would have, but they just needed to get outgoings,
yeah,
get salaries off the books. Anyway, they didn't play that formation because one of their biggest signings, Nkunku, is out until January or December, I think. He got hurt in preseason, which was a crushing blow, but nobody knew what to expect. New manager coming off the club's worst season, totally new players. The debuts, I wrote them all down because I couldn't remember all of them. Nico Jackson, Levi Caldwell, Robert Sanchez, Axel Disasi, Malo Gusto, and Leslie Ogachukwu. The first 20 minutes were terrible. It looked like the game was going to be over early, but after that initial 20 minutes, the Chelsea team came together and they were dominant. They definitely should have won. Enzo Fernandez is legitimately world class. Like, I think within the next 2 years, he's going to have an argument that there's nobody better as a center mid in the entire world. But to go from last season, which was just devastating, to now so much promise and everything is so new and exciting and just promising this quickly does not happen very often, and it's just really fun. It's a really exciting time to be a Chelsea fan. Producer Rue over here wants to get into the Premier League, and I'm pushing the Chelsea bandwagon on him.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
It's not a trap. Tyler Adams is not coming.
I know. If Tyler Adams came, I would have been full anti-Chelsea train.
They're very much in the running for my favorite team.
I'm all aboard the Milan train now. I am debating buying a Musah jersey. That might be.
You should.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
Number 80. That's what Ronaldinho wore.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. They gave Musah 80?
Musah, I think, wanted 80. That was his favorite player growing up, he said.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did he ask for permission? Does he
I don't know.
Need to.
I don't think he would have to. But yeah, that's cool.
Harry Kane to Bayern. I mean, just the idea of the current England captain leaving the Premier League is kind of insane. It hadn't happened before that since Beckham left in 2003, which is crazy. He left for over 100 million. He's joining the team that wins the German league like 9 straight years.
I'm happy for him because he's amazing and he has no trophies. So you'd think this is setting him up at least for one.
That's all he wants,
Yeah.
is trophies now. He's Tottenham's all-time leading goal scorer, and he's very much within reach of the Premier League all-time goal record. So he's literally just leaving because he wants to win something, which it's crazy. He's been there 19 years. He's 30, but he joined as an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And they've won nothing.
Brings me to, I guess, my point. The first thing you said about being within reach of the all-time goal record. It was Jamie Carragher and another former England player. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but they were saying winning a trophy in Germany with a team that always wins the trophies doesn't mean as much as getting the all-time Premier League goal-scoring record, and I honestly think I agree.
I agree with him, but I think he's more in it for the Champions League.
Yeah, that's a good argument. I didn't even consider that. For legacy purposes, okay, what's one Champions League versus being the all-time Premier League goal-scoring?
Well, if he wins one in the next 2 years,
he could come back and
he probably
set the
will.
record. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
He's got another World Cup cycle with England, at least one.
He's only 30, so yeah. Crazy that he's only 30.
Yeah.
He's just been around forever.
Well, okay, so speaking of guys that left places where they kind of made a name for themselves to chase glory in a different league and ended up really only winning a couple useless domestic titles, Neymar has left Europe. He's moving to Saudi Arabia, a 2-year, €300 million contract, a €99 million fee to PSG, and we are left with a huge story of what could have been.
I have so many thoughts on this. Well, my first thought is credit to me
Okay.
Because when Ronaldo went to Saudi Arabia, I think this might have been our 3rd episode ever, I brought up the idea to what's stopping them from just bringing over all the good players and paying all this money and doing it. And I said, and what's stopping them from doing it in basketball and other sports? And they haven't done that yet. But they have now got a lot of world-class players that they're just throwing money to get. And I was kind of spot on with my prediction, so I just wanted to toot my own horn a little bit there.
Okay.
So that's that. Second, Neymar never should have gone to PSG.
No.
The worst decision he ever made for his career. Probably would have had a Ballon d'Or if he'd stayed at Barcelona. Third, should we be watching Saudi Arabian soccer?
No.
Ronaldo just won the title or something.
It's like a cup tournament.
Yeah, but the trophy looked exactly like
it was a mini
the
World Cup
trophy.
Yeah.
So that was
he got his World Cup.
He didn't win
best player.
And did you see he was
Saw his reaction, yeah.
which is hilarious.
I mean, it's probably in his contract that he has to.
Oh, you're saying in his contract that they have to give it to him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking it's in his contract like that if he doesn't win it, like they could cancel it or something.
No,
I
no,
thought
no,
you were
no.
saying the
It's not a stipulation.
Yeah. He's guaranteed to win
The best player of everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he really did kind of just create this league, though.
Yeah.
He added so much credibility to it. He was the first.
He was.
Other
yeah.
guys tried to do it with like the Chinese league, and they just weren't big enough names.
Yeah.
I wish Neymar came to the MLS. That was my last thought.
I agree. He never should have left Barcelona. It was bad. I mean, and they hate him. Like PSG fans hate Neymar. They will like go to his house and like chant, like "get out of town," adjacent sayings at him.
I'm sure meaner things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are because I don't speak the language.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably a lot meaner than "get out of town" would be my guess.
Yeah, but he was the heir apparent. Like he was.
I know.
He was part of one of the best attacking trios ever, the MSN, Messi, Suarez, Neymar.
Yeah.
He won a Champions League with Barcelona, and you're right, he was supposed to be the best player in the world at some point.
He was number 3 at a time.
Yeah.
Behind Ronaldo and Messi.
Yep.
And he never reached the heights that he should have, I don't think.
No, definitely not.
While we're still on soccer, this is my last thought. Well, Tyler Adams, Bournemouth,
Yeah.
triggered his release clause. That's good. I like that for him.
Me too. I mean,
Mid-table
he'll
team,
play.
He'll play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I saw Josh Sargent.
Scored.
He looked awesome.
I didn't watch the game.
I saw a Twitter clip of all of his involvements, and he looked so good, dude.
Sweet.
Like,
I like those highlight packages they make.
me too. But he's... Anyone who has Ferreira over Sargent is wrong.
Yeah.
It's not just... It's not arguable. It's just wrong.
100%.
So, that's... Yeah. Just wanted to touch on some of my U.S. boys while we were here.
James Harden has called Daryl Morey a liar on videotape at some event he was doing, I think, in China.
Yeah, in China. He was playing to the crowd. People in China hate Daryl
I didn't even
Morey.
connect the dots.
Yeah. People in China
I
hate
didn't
Daryl
even
Morey.
connect the dots until you said
Mhm.
that.
It was the ultimate sounding board for him to say something like that.
Yeah.
You're not going to find
Yeah,
a place
true.
where they hate Daryl Morey more. I don't think. But, I don't know. It's just more nothing. This is all nothing. It's honestly, it's his fault. I feel
Harden,
nothing.
It's totally
Yeah.
Harden's fault. Yeah.
He didn't have to opt in. He chose to opt in. I'm not going to do another contract rant, but it's just he didn't have to opt in. And now it's coming out that Morey promised him something, maybe an extension in the last year, so he would take less money or something like that.
Which
There
is
was
also
some
against the rules,
agreement.
right?
I don't know if it's against the rules, but I think it was Harden agreed to take less money now so they could bring in
More guys last
more
year.
guys,
Yeah.
and it was like, we'll do right by you. And now they're not doing right by him, which I also don't agree with. But he chose to opt in now, so it's not, he's the final wrongdoer here, for lack of a better term.
He totally controlled his destiny.
He did. He could have gone anywhere. If he wanted to go to the Clippers so bad, he could have gone to the Clippers. Now, it's just going to be an awkward situation. It's going to be weird, and it's going to continue to be a story. And
Nobody wants to trade for him, it seems.
it's not that nobody wants to trade for him.
Nobody wants to give up a legit package.
Yes, nobody wants to give up what the Sixers want a package that will allow them to still be a contender for James Harden on an expiring deal. Why on earth would any team give you a package that keeps your contender status, that improves your team because you're not a contender right now, for James Harden on an expiring deal when he's 33, 34, 35 years old? Doesn't make any sense at all. So the Sixers are also being dumb here. Take whatever you can get.
They're backed into a corner.
They are, and like, Daryl Morey doesn't mind being uncomfortable, and he doesn't care about this, and they're going to bring Harden in. Like, we saw how well this went with Ben Simmons.
But Ben Simmons was on a multi-year contract.
He was.
So they weren't as on the clock.
No, they weren't, but I'm saying bringing in a disgruntled star, whatever you want to call either of them at this point, it doesn't work.
No.
For anyone. It's a lose-lose for everyone involved, and this is what's happening. This is what's going to happen. It's bad business all around. It's not how contracts work. It's not how agreements work. It's not how business works. You just don't treat people this way on either side. And it's going to keep leading to stupid nonsense like this. And Harden calling Morey a liar, it's a funny story.
It's turning on his dude, though.
Yeah, but he's been turning on his dude.
I know. Nobody has done more for James Harden than Daryl Morey, though. Like, stuck by him through thick and thin.
For sure. But I'm assuming whatever Morey promised him and really didn't. I think it was he probably promised him an extension.
Yeah.
And then I bet the Harden to the Rockets stuff that I said I didn't understand, but it was so out there. I bet that was Harden's camp pushing that, because it never seemed like they were really in on him.
No, I don't think they wanted it very much.
No, why would they? You get a lot of what Harden does in Fred VanVleet, and he's better in the locker room and a better defender and younger and a better leader and all that stuff. So Harden's in a bad spot, and it's his fault.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
The Hall of Fame induction ceremony was this past weekend. It was a pretty stacked class. In this year was Becky Hammon, David Hickson, Dirk Nowitzki, D. Wade, Gary Blair, Gene Bess, how do you pronounce that last name?
I would say Keedy.
Keedy.
Back-to-back Genes.
Pop, Jimmy V, Pau, and Tony Parker. It's a very iconic class for our generation of growing up as NBA fans.
I love seeing Dirk in. I love seeing Dwyane Wade in. People for a long time argued that Tony Parker wouldn't get in. It's just like, it's obviously getting in, but it was a really good class. So it's funny that they induct coaches while they're still coaching.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, there's no doubt that he's worth it.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. I don't know what the logic is. I've never really thought about it, but yeah.
The college football AP Top 25, the first one of the year, was released today. The preseason poll, Georgia was first with 60 out of 63 first-place votes. Michigan was 2, Ohio State 3, Bama 4. It was their lowest preseason start in over 10 years. And LSU rounded out the top 5, which is their best preseason start in 7 years. I mean, Georgia, obviously, they've lost a ton of talent the last 2 years. But back-to-back national champions, I don't think anybody's done that.
All of the talent they lost is now on the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, yeah. Steady Bennett on the Rams. He looked good in preseason.
Yeah, I almost gave him an award. Spoiler alert, not giving him an award.
Okay. But no, I mean, nobody's won 3 titles in a row, I think, in the modern era. It's really a fight to see who is the king of the SEC and the king of the Big Ten. By all accounts, Georgia and Michigan, it's their conference now, 2 years in a row that they both won conference titles, made the playoffs. Georgia 2 straight national championships, first in 40 years. It'll be really interesting to see what happens to Bama. I think Tyrone Milroe is probably going to start. Tennessee should be really fun. I think they're 13. Joe Milton has a cannon. He'll be really fun to watch. I'm excited for Clemson to see if they can rebound. I'm just really excited for college football to start again.
What about Texas?
Nobody knows who the quarterback's going to be. There's rumblings that Arch might take over at some point, but that
really?
I don't know if that's just having Arch Manning on campus. People are always going to say that.
Yeah.
Because Ewers is supposed to be awesome.
I heard he was a Heisman candidate, so
he could be, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do. It's tough because Ewers was the number 1 recruit out of high school too, right?
Yeah, he's one of the highest rated quarterbacks ever. And it's the last year of the 14 playoff and the last year before a lot of realignment.
Mm-hmm.
So things are going to change fast. Speaking of college football and legends and Tennessee, Peyton Manning has taken a job at UT Knoxville. If you walked into a class, didn't know that it was, I mean, everyone probably knows, but if you didn't know, that would be like a jaw on the ground for 15 minutes moment. The sheriff.
For football fans, absolutely.
He's joining the College of Communication and Information. He's going to be a featured expert at select classes. An expert on what? My best guess is chicken parm.
I would imagine it's probably in his media capacity and like
Yeah.
the Omaha productions and all that. I would imagine that would be more of what. I mean, obviously the chicken parm thing's a joke, but I meant like it wouldn't be. I'm just saying in reality this is what it would be. Yeah. I wasn't trying to refute your chicken parm statement.
Well, actually,
actually, he's not really a chicken parm guy.
the odds that they'd bring him in for that so low.
Yeah, wasn't trying to do that.
We have a note here for the third QB rule.
Yeah, it's because of the 49ers. Now you're allowed to keep like an emergency quarterback on your roster, on your game day roster. So,
I didn't know they approved that. I missed that one.
I think that this like just came out in the last couple of days. Like no one's talking about it, but when I was looking for, again, slow season, but when I was looking for sports things to discuss, I found that and I was interested. So it leaves a guy like Tommy DeVito on the Giants. He could make the team now instead of being on a practice squad somewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, amazing name.
Tommy DeVito, yeah.
Yeah, you know Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons?
Yeah, of course.
The second guy is Tommy DeVito.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he's the guy who like discovered
He's the
Frankie
first
Valli.
season?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like his band.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've seen Jersey Boys like 3 times.
I saw the play when I was younger. Really good.
Yeah, the play.
Really fun.
The movie, there's also a movie.
Yeah, I watched the end of it at your house once.
With me?
Yeah.
Okay. No recollection of that, but it's exactly the same as the play.
I could have been the
Scene
whole
for
movie.
scene.
You don't remember this?
Was this that one summer when we were, okay, that makes sense. We were just doing nothing.
Yeah.
So that checks out. Probably ran out of things to watch. No, I don't remember this ad. We did a lot of nothing
It
that
was the
summer.
middle of the day.
This could have been any day.
Okay.
You lived at my house, essentially. So
Yeah.
this could have been anything.
Speaking of movies, though, huge news out of the NFL world and the movie world.
I should have done some reporting on this. I've had this thought for a long time now because I loved the movie, and a few months ago I looked into it to see if Michael Orr and the Tui family were still like family, and I checked. I was doing a real deep dive because I was really bored, and I went on like all of their Instagram pages, all the people, no references to each other. I went on Michael Orr's. He hadn't had them around at all. He had some big event, I think some charity event or something, and none of them were there. And I was like, something's definitely up here. There was definitely a falling out. Sure as shit, today it comes out that there was a falling out, then they screwed him over and they never even adopted him.
Yeah,
Conservatorship.
Yeah.
It was the same thing that
Conservation.
that Britney Spears had.
Oh, with her dad?
Yeah. The Free Britney stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's same as that. So he was never really a member of their family.
Sounds like he was duped. Which
Basically,
sucks.
he was bamboozled.
Yeah. Hoodwinked.
Yeah. all
Led
the above.
astray.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. I mean, it sucks for him.
It's okay. Well, it sucks for him. It sucks for us as
Yeah.
people who like the movie. It's a great movie.
It is, yeah.
It taints it a little bit. It's
It
not
taints
great.
it the whole entirely.
Yeah, I think it all stems from the fact that in the movie he's portrayed as a dumb guy.
Yeah.
But in real life he's not a dumb guy. So he says people assume that he's an idiot when he's not, which is fair. If I was portrayed as an idiot in movies, I wouldn't be happy about it.
No.
Even if I am one.
It's like
It's not nice.
It's like playing George Costanza. There's a Curb like little skit where Jason Alexander's talking about how he can't escape the perception that he's like this stupid, impossible to deal with guy, and Larry David's just sitting there like, because the character of George Costanza was based on Larry David. Zach Martin got a new deal, 2 years, fully guaranteed, north of $18 million a year. It's in total an $8.5 million raise from what he was going to get under his old contract. I know holding out on a contract bothers you. It was going to happen. They were going to give him like a salary bump.
I never thought they weren't. I just don't like that it happened.
Yeah.
I'm not happy for him.
Okay. Just out of principle because it was like, shut up.
I just don't like it.
All right.
The whole premise is, out of principle, I don't like it.
The Jets also added Dalvin Cook today. I mean, obviously they're making a title push, so they're just stacking weapons, as many as they can fit under the cap at this point. I guess this is part of where the Rodgers pay cut comes into play. Things like this.
It helps in mostly just because Breece Hall is still recovering from his injury. I think he's a luxury I don't think he was necessary. I don't think he's the final piece that moves the needle. It doesn't really do anything for me. But I mean, whenever you get a Dalvin Cook, it's a good thing. So good for Jets fans.
And the Pats added Zeke.
Also, does even less for me. Does actually way less for me.
Infinitely less?
Infinitely less for me. They have, I think, like 5 already running backs on their roster. I think all of which are probably better than Zeke. Ramondre Stevenson is a better Zeke. I don't know why this was a necessary move for them. And now it just confuses me for fantasy.
I'm telling you, dude, it feels a little panicky.
It could be panicky, but again, I don't see it.
I'm just saying, it's not going to be fast, but over the next 2 years, just remember signing Zeke and be like, all right, they were kind of reaching for answers.
Okay, I'll remember it. I'll keep it in mind, and I'll remember where I heard it, as you all should.
Do you have anything else in housekeeping?
No, that's all I got. Phil Mickelson really likes to gamble.
Oh, yeah. $1 billion in bets placed, reportedly.
Yeah, apparently he's pretty good at it, if he's been able to bet all that much.
If you bet $1 billion and you come out $100 million short, that's about as good as you can hope for.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But I'm reading his book, or it's not his book. It's the unauthorized biography. It's called Phil. I'm reading it
By
right now.
Shipnuck? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't have remembered that, but yeah.
Good author.
I'm probably like 60 pages in, so I'm not too far in, but it's really good so far. I know you're not a huge golf fan, but it's good enough that you would like it.
All right. Okay, so for this segment, we are going to talk about some NFL win total over-unders that we like. We each picked out 3 overs that we liked and 3 unders that we like. Do you want to get things started off?
Sure, yeah. My first one is Chiefs over. The line is set at 11.5. I don't have too much on this. We kind of have already done it when we talk about Mahomes, but they have the best quarterback, best coach, best tight end, best offense, and a serviceable defense, and I have no reason to doubt them. How many they win? 14 last year? 13 or 14?
14 sounds right.
Yeah, so I have no reason to think that they'd win less than 12. Barring injury, but again, we're not here to predict injuries except for one of my unders.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have the Chiefs as one of my overs as well. They play, obviously, the AFC West. They also play the AFC East, which is a good division, but they play the NFC North, who they should handle pretty easily. I would be surprised if they lose to any team in the NFC North, to be totally honest. But yeah, I mean, they have the best team, they have the best quarterback, best coach. You said it all, and I don't see, barring injury, how someone's going to beat them 6 times, which is what they would need to hit the under.
And they're going to be the favorite in every game they play.
Yeah,
pretty much. So I don't have any reason to think that this over won't hit.
It's
11.5 felt low, honestly.
Dude, yeah,
I thought it'd
agree.
be at least 12.5.
It's the highest,
Yeah.
but it just...
Especially now that it's a 17-game season.
Yeah, 12-5 seems like a good but somewhat
not
up to
great.
their not their best season.
Yeah.
So I did the Chiefs. I had them also. Another over I like is the Saints. So they have the easiest strength of schedule in the league. The win total is set at 9.5. They play the NFC South, their division, which is terrible. It's the worst division in football. I don't think Dennis Allen's a great coach, but Derek Carr is a pretty established quarterback. He knows what he's doing. He's a good veteran presence. That alone should give them a pretty big advantage over the rest of that division. I wouldn't be surprised to see them win at least 4 games against their division. 4-2 seems totally reasonable for them. They also play the NFC North, which we mentioned is not a cakewalk, but it's nothing to write home about. And the AFC South, and they're also not a very strong division. So I think it's maybe the Saints' division to win, and I think 9.5 is a pretty appealing number for that over-under.
I don't disagree. I don't love the Saints enough to put them as a 10-game winner. It could, honestly, some of my hang-ups for this whole exercise was the 17-game season and the fact that 10 wins isn't what it was.
Yeah.
You know, like a 10-win team was a legitimate team 2 years ago. Now it's like...
But it's also a 7-loss team now.
Exactly. So it's not as formidable as it once was.
It was hard to miss the playoffs with 10 wins
Exactly.
a couple of years ago.
Now it's very plausible. I'm not out on the possibility of it happening. I'm not saying it won't, but it's not one of my picks. I just don't like the Saints that much.
I don't like them that much, but like I could totally see them going 5-1 in division games, and they're halfway there already. Then.
Yeah, no. I'm not disagreeing with the pick. I wouldn't place that bet, is what I'm saying. But it's because to me, it's more of a toss-up. But it's your list.
They're all supposed to be toss-ups, in theory.
You would think, yeah.
The lines
yeah.
are right.
But for me, that one is more of a toss-up than the Chiefs. I don't hate it. It's not. I almost had it. It's just not as. I don't like it as much as some of the other ones.
Which are?
So I got Jags over 9.5. They won 9 games last year. I think with another year of development with Trevor Lawrence, improved continuity under Doug Peterson. They brought back Evan Engram. They drafted Tank Bigsby to help in, not to be confused with Ned Bigby, to help out in short yardage and goal line situations, which is where ETN struggled last year. You think Trayvon Walker with another year of development will improve. They're in a weak division. So all that, I think they're a 10 or 11 win team. Again, it's the 10 win threshold deterred me almost a little bit, but considering they won 9 games last year, and I think Calvin Ridley's going to be really good for them. Everything I've seen of him in camp, he's looked unbelievably fast. So more weapons is always a good thing.
It's their division to lose, and similar to the NFC South, it's a pretty weak division.
Yeah. So for them, I believe in the Jags more than I believe in the Saints. So it's just, that's really what it comes down to. That's why I like this one more than that one.
And I agree, Peterson and Lawrence is a tandem that is going to be around to stay.
Yeah.
They're good together.
I think so too. What do you got for your third over?
I have the Rams. So
You've been high on the Rams.
Yeah, very similar to the Chiefs and the Jags. They have the coach and they have the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They also have Aaron Donald. They have Cooper Kupp. Sean McVay has shown that he can come into any situation and totally change it around and make the offense work. And the line is 6.5. They play their division. They play the NFC East and the AFC North. So it's a tough schedule. But for Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, 2 Hall of Famers, I mean, they got 4 Hall of Famers on the team. It just seems like a low number. It seems more recency bias than accepting that last season could have just totally been an outlier.
I keep going back and forth mentally. You say one thing, and I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. And then I go back, and I don't. The schedule is really tough. I think I agree with you that they'll be better than people think for sure. I would feel better about this line if it was 5.5 instead of 6.5. For some reason, that 6 number is sticking out in my head. They have the quarterback, they have the coach, and they have an elite receiver. With that, you could probably just steal wins based on that alone. But their defense, other than Donald's, like really bad, and I think that'll hurt them a lot. But again, it's with a coach at that level and a quarterback. I think I do like the bet. I do like the bet.
It's enough to be competitive in most games. Good coach and good quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's major issues with their defense, and is Cam Akers their running back? They were trying to pawn him off for nothing last year, and now he's their bell cow. So it's a little bit of a weird situation. I do like the bet, though. I think they're going to be better than people think. I would feel more comfortable at 5.5. If there was an alternate line, I would for sure take it at 5.5, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they had 8 wins. For my last one, I wouldn't be surprised if you hated this one, but I'm going with my Giants at over 7.5.
I don't hate it. I thought it was low.
It is low. I thought it would be 8.5. I think 8.5 would have been a fair line, but they won 9 games last year, and I know a lot of them were, 1-score games, but they also had a tie last year, so 9 wins and a tie. So 7.5 feels rude, regardless of how good the Eagles are and the Cowboys are supposed to be. They won 9 last year in that division. And I know they're playing the AFC East, and they have a tougher schedule than they did last year. But it's just like they've gotten better. It just feels disrespectful to give them 7.5.
It does. It sticks out.
It does. It's glaring because I think they have. I don't remember this now off the top of my head, but they had the Commanders right around there. I think they had 6.5. Yeah, Rue 6.5. That's not right. What do the Commanders do to be that close? Nothing. The Giants won a playoff game last year. Say what you will, but 7.5 is not right. And Dable's such a good coach, and they have such a good coaching staff. Regardless of how you feel about Daniel Jones, some people think he could take a step forward. Some people think this is who he is. I think he could take another step. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, but I think he's will solidify himself as a top 15. He's not going to lose you games, though. He doesn't turn the ball over anymore. He barely turned the ball over last year. His fumbling issue's gone, and they've gotten better across the board. So 7.5 felt just really disrespectful.
So for unders, I have Arizona. They have the 10th hardest strength of schedule and also the lowest over-under win total at 4.5. They're in the NFC West. They play the NFC East and the AFC North. And it's honestly less about the rigorous schedule than it is Kyler's hurt. Who knows when he's coming back? They don't have a good team. It's probably going to be a pretty down gap rebuild year. And they have the Texans pick. So I think there's not a lot of incentive to field the most competitive outfit this year. I just think things are going to start bad, and there will be a lot of reward for maintaining that status quo throughout the season.
And the new coach is very analytics heavy, so I could see him being willing to sacrifice a year and for the potential of winning in the future, you know?
Yeah.
He wouldn't fight for 1 or 2 extra wins at the risk of ruining future seasons. This one was in very high consideration to be picked. The only reason I didn't is just 4 wins is just so few in a 17-game season, so I just...
Bears had 3 wins last year.
I know, so there's some major issues there. I like this pick. I do like this pick. That's a good one. At 4.5 is just a crazy low number, but it's
lowest in the league.
And deservedly so, especially because you don't know when Kyler's coming back. And they just cut DeAndre Hopkins for nothing, so it's just... And I think their whole offense is going to be James Conner, which is
Hollywood.
Hollywood, which is not a recipe for success.
No.
So, yeah, they're going to be really bad. And their defense is falling apart, and they keep drafting linebackers who aren't any good with really high picks.
I do like Paris Johnson Jr., though.
Okay. Yeah. For my first under, I took the Raiders under 6.5. The Raiders aren't very good. Jimmy G can't stay healthy. This is what I was saying. We're not predicting injuries, but if Jimmy G plays 17 games, I'll be floored.
Yeah.
Beyond stunned, I'll be floored.
Josh McDaniels is not a good coach.
Yeah, there's enough evidence there to say that.
There's plenty.
Point. Yeah, it's enough now, and their team's just not that good. He couldn't stay healthy on a team with a good O-line and good weapons, and now he's on a team with a bad O-line and bad weapons and bad coaching. So what is there to think that he's going to stay healthy for 17 games and
in a good division?
In a good division, and their backup quarterback is Brian Hoyer, who has a sub 500 record as a starter, and is 37 years old. If Jimmy G goes down, similar with the Cards, their incentive to win is just not there in a draft with high-level quarterback talent at the top of the draft.
Could be a punt year.
How do you feel? Raiders under 6.5? Good, bad?
I feel pretty good about the under. I don't think they're good. You're going against Mahomes twice, Herbert twice. That's going to be 0-4. You're going to be outcoached in almost every game.
Yeah, and even the Broncos should theoretically be better too. So yeah, that one felt like a safe under for me. Especially, even if Jimmy G plays 17 games, I could see it going under.
Yeah.
But assuming he doesn't, which I am making that assumption, I think they'll definitely go under it.
One of my other unders, is Tennessee, under 7.5. I like variable. Derrick Henry's awesome. Hopkins is awesome. Jeffrey Simmons, awesome dog. It just kind of feels like they've been on the verge of mediocrity for a few years now. Really, since that run where they beat the Ravens, the Pats, and the Ravens. I don't think it's a talented team, and it's an old team, and it's a pretty expensive team, and it feels like they could use a refresh, and maybe that's what this season will afford them.
I think it would be the best thing for them to have a refresh. I feel like they always win more games than I think they will. It's the only reason I wouldn't take this myself.
Because of Derrick Henry.
Because of Derrick Henry, and I just think Vrabel finds ways to win. So that's the only reason I wouldn't personally take the bet, but I like your logic behind it. It's kind of like the Patriots for me. I don't like to bet against teams that always prove me wrong, and the Titans have proved me wrong many times before.
All right.
My second is, which I couldn't believe this line, is Buccaneers under 6.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
way too high.
I know they have good talent, but Baker or Kyle Trask is going to be their quarterback. And also, I have zero reason to believe that Todd Bowles is a good head coach.
Yeah, I really wanted him to be, though.
I
like Todd Bowles.
I like him, and I think he's a great DC, but what has he done more than Josh McDaniels to convince me that he's a good coach?
He had one
good
good
head
year
coach.
as the Jets head coach. The first
Was
year.
it a good year?
They won 10 games. They missed the playoffs because they lost that heartbreaker in Buffalo.
Yeah. Okay.
Better than McDaniels, though.
Fair enough. But point being, he hasn't done enough to convince me that he's actually a good coach.
Also, they have a lot of names on that team. I don't really know if any of them are needle movers anymore.
Oh, they still have Godwin and Mike Evans, who are both very good.
They're very good.
Yeah, but they don't do enough to make them win 7 games.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm with you. I was just saying they have talent, but that's about it.
Yeah.
6.5 is an aggressive line for them. I'm shocked.
It's
that
just
that
because
high.
the division's really bad.
I know, but if they win 7 games, I'll be really surprised.
I will too. I think it's a great under.
Yeah.
My last one is Cleveland. The line is 9.5.
That's high.
Yeah, it is high. They play, obviously the AFC North, which is always a competitive division, the AFC South, which is bad, and the NFC West, which has good teams and has a really bad team. So I'm not 100% sure where that's going to go. But this also feels like things are just going to go south here. Stefanski's been there for a while. He's probably the best coach they've had in decades. But this is really a bet against Deshaun. If he's not good, they're going to stink.
I would put him as, what did I put him? Some version of Tannehill. I
Yeah.
had him even lower than you did.
Yeah.
I think he was so awful last year. I don't know what to make of him.
This could be the biggest delta from the number to what it actually is if it goes below it. Because if he's bad, they could win like 4 games.
I think it could go both ways.
Oh yeah,
if he has
a
return to form, they could win.
Return to form Tannehill, was that it?
That's
or was
what
that
it
Russ?
was. No, that was Russ.
Okay.
What was he? Return to form Tannehill was Russ. What was he though? Either way, some version of Tannehill. But if he returns to form, not return to form Tannehill, I could see them winning 12+ games. You know, they have a lot of talent, but he's a big variable, and he was so awful last year. So it's hard to say, but 9.5 is high, and that division's good, and it's always
good.
It's a tough division to win games in. I like that pick. I like that pick locks. 9.5 is high.
And you got one more, right?
Yeah, I got one more. I got the under for Texans 6.5. They won 3 games last year. They have a rookie quarterback. They've improved. They've gotten better, but 7 wins is still...
It's a huge jump.
It's a huge jump with a rookie quarterback. Yeah, 6.5 is a lot. Especially if 3 games is very few last year, so that's a big jump.
This isn't one of my 3, but I was tempted by the Steelers over 8.5 just because Mike Tomlin is allergic to going under 500. He's never done it.
And I like Pickett. I think they have a good team. Everything I've read about them is just that Matt Canada's an awful OC.
Yeah, he is.
Good name.
Great
Bad
name.
OC. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. This one I really wanted to pick, but I just like my other overs better, is Vikings over 8.5.
I like that. I think they're going to win the division.
They won 13 games last year, and I know there were a lot of miraculous come from behind wins, but that's a huge drop off from 13 to 8.5, and they still have Justin Jefferson. And Kirk's good, so I don't know. 8.5 felt really low.
They're going to have some regression just because of their record in one-score games.
Absolutely.
That always happens, but it shouldn't be that extreme.
But
I agree.
5 games is so much regression.
I agree, yeah. I think it's a little extreme.
Yeah. And the other is I have Lions 9.5 over, which
I'm
it
the
feels
under on that
insane.
one.
It feels insane because I'm not a Jared Goff believer in any way, but they have so much talent, and they shored up their secondary a little bit, and I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I don't know. It wasn't one I'm going to bet. It's just one that I'm going to keep. The Lions are a team to watch for me.
I was leaning the under on that just because it was like a hedge against Detroit.
Yeah.
They're the Lions. Things can't go good for an extended period of time.
It's kind of the same as like the Cleveland, betting against the Browns.
Yeah.
It's one that I will watch, is what I will say. It's not one that I'm going to take.
Okay, fair. Good segment.
Mm-hmm. Moving on.
Awards?
Yes, let's do awards. I think you started last week. I'm pretty confident in that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, because I think that was us having this discussion and you being like, I'll just start.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So,
You want to go first then?
yes, I'm giving out the Dora the Explorer Award, specifically Crazy Steve and Drake and Josh watching Dora the Explorer and saying, "You're the one with the map, don't ask me."
Is this going to James Harden?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It's a baseball award.
It's a baseball award, okay. Is this going to Aaron Boone?
No, but it is someone in the Yankees organization. One
it-
step higher than Aaron Boone.
It's Cashman?
It's Cashman.
Okay.
It's Cashman and the Yankees as a whole, really, but it's less so Aaron Boone. Dora's whole shtick is that there's very obvious things happening around her, but she can't seem to figure it out on her own, and she needs to call in outside help to help her out. And it seems like every single person on the outside is telling Cashman what to do, like Crazy Steve. But he won't listen, and it's time for Cashman to listen to Crazy Steve and do what everyone's telling him to do. It is so obvious that they should have sold at the deadline. They just lost the worst game of the season. They blew a 5-run lead in the ninth inning. 4-run lead in the ninth inning. It was embarrassing to watch. Hard to watch. They haven't won a series, or they've won one series over the last, I think, 10, and it was against the worst team in baseball in the Royals. So, and they still somehow have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't know how it is. I want them to be mathematically eliminated so bad. The obvious thing is also just staring them in the face is to just try things out. We're in try things out mode. You want to stretch Michael King out to make him a starter? Go for it. Now's the time. You want to see Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito? Go for it. Now's the time. Ben Rortvedt, kind of trash. Let's see Austin Wells. He's a lefty catcher too. Let's try him out. Everson Pereira's been tearing up AAA. Try him out. Oswald Peraza, let's just see him for a month straight of at-bats. Let's see what he can do. That's all. Just try things out. Now's the time. We don't need to see more of what we already know. DJ LeMahieu's been out 6 games with a calf strain. Maybe we should just put him on the 10-day IL so we can call someone up. It's why are we trying to save this season? There's nothing to be saved. They're a bad team. Even if they somehow miraculously made the playoffs, it's not going to go anywhere. They're so bad. And the problems are the same as they've been. They can't hit. And now, on top of not being able to hit, they also can't pitch. Just throw the season away. I don't care anymore. Just lose. Stop trying. If Aaron Judge needs toe surgery, go get it now so you can come back next year. Rizzo with his concussion brain, if he needs to sit out the year, sit out the year. That's fine. DJ LeMahieu with his calf and his toe also, they both have toe injuries. Done for the year. I've had enough. The season's over. They're done. Stick a fork in them. Try things out. It's so obvious it's staring you in the face. And obviously we're in it to win it. No, the fuck you're not, Brian Cashman. No, the fuck you're not. You go out at the trade deadline and bring in a middle reliever for a team that doesn't need bullpen help that badly. You have so many other issues. It is staring you in the face, Dora. Do what Crazy Steve tells you.
Do you think it's more likely that Cashman didn't make any moves because he feels no pressure to make moves because he doesn't feel like his job is in danger, or because it's some pressure to be like, all right, this is your bed, you're going to lie in it, and we're not going to let you try to buy new sheets right now because you've had enough chances to make this thing. If you can't, someone else is going to.
I think Cashman is so arrogant that he believes that everything happening on the field is not his fault.
It's just bad break after bad break.
I think he still talks about 2017 now, that the Astros cheated, which they did, but dude, move on now.
Yeah, he wants it on his resume.
Yeah, it doesn't belong there. It did happen, but we didn't win. You didn't win. It was a good team. But ever since then, you've gone downhill. You've made bad decision after bad decision. And yes, there's been a lot of injuries, but that's because you're acquiring old injury-prone players.
Yeah.
There's been times you could have gotten Bryce Harper. You could have gotten Manny Machado. You could have traded for Juan Soto. You could have done all of these things. You chose not to. Everyone comes back to the Stanton one, which was bad, but you could have had Stanton and Bryce Harper. You could have done that. The reason you dropped payroll in 2019 to get under the CBT, the competitive balance tax, was so you could go out and get a big free agent. And what did you do? You didn't even put in an offer for these guys. So you're making bad decisions and then compounding them with more bad decisions and then making more bad decisions to try to fix them. The reason we have to trade away all our prospects for Joey Gallo, Andrew Benintendi is because we don't have a left fielder. And the reason we don't have a left fielder is because you didn't sign them. And now we don't have any prospects and we still don't have a left fielder. So it's just like, what are we doing here? You could have gotten Carlos Correa on a 1-year deal. You could have done that. The Twins did it, and now they have him. You could have done that, and then he was going to move to third if he went to the Mets. You could have signed Correa for a 1-year deal, moved him to third, and still brought up Volpe. That's what the Twins did.
Yeah, I mean, well, Brian Cashman has no experience bringing in a shortstop, moving him to third to accommodate a homegrown shortstop.
I didn't even think of that. That is exactly what it would have been. Yeah.
He's done it.
He's done it before.
He's too stubborn now.
Yeah, he's too full of himself, so arrogant, has to be the smartest guy in the room. Has to outsmart every single person instead of just doing what's staring him in the face. It was so obvious that the reason that the Yankees got swept by the Astros last year was because they can't hit.
And dude, that's been the reason they've lost every series for the last 5 years.
Absolutely. But this was the big offseason. You bring back Aaron Judge, you want an extra ace? Fine, you bring in Rodon. And then you come out and you say, we're not done yet. And then you are done. And then your big preseason acquisitions are Rafael Ortega and Aaron Hicks and Oswaldo Cabrera competing for left field. And then you luck into Jake Bowers. And he can't even play left field at all. He's a horrible left fielder. He's been a good hitter all year, so good for him. But you can't be relying on a Jake Bowers when you have a Jose Trevino in your lineup who can't hit, when you have an Anthony Volpe who's a rookie, when you have Anthony Rizzo who's the worst player in baseball for a month and has an undiagnosed concussion that you all somehow missed. When you have all of these things and you have all these players who can't hit, you can't have other players who can't hit. And also, they're all righties. Every so often the Yankees will blow up and it'll be like, oh, this is the team. Look at them. They're finally about to break out. Every time it happens, it's against a lefty pitcher. Every single time. Every time. We're really good against lefties because we have only righties. And I don't know how many times this has to happen for staring Cashman in the face for him to realize that it's happening. So that's why. Cashman is Dora the fucking Explorer. That's what he is. Explorer.
My first award is the If I Could Turn Back Time award. If I could turn back time.
If I could find a way. What the hell is this about? Oh, Neymar.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, all right.
This is me wishing that I could reverse the Neymar transfer and that he would just play out at Barcelona. They would have won another 2 Champions Leagues, and he never would have wasted his talent and potential and prime of his career in the French capital.
Yeah. We kind of already went over this a little bit, but yeah, it was
we don't have to spend too much time.
Big mistake. Should never left. Bad for him, bad for soccer, honestly.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. This one I think you'll get, but it's the Why Are We Pretending We Don't Know Who This Guy Is award.
Why are we pretending like we don't know who this guy is award?
Not you and me. You and me are not pretending we don't know who this guy is. But other people, there's a lot of noise pretending that they don't know who this guy is. Maybe not pretending, but saying.
I have no idea.
Jacoby Brissett.
Am I missing something?
We've talked about this so many times.
I know. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, I see. In my mind, I was like, they're just like pretending like they don't know him.
No, like literally.
You're saying, why are we pretending like we don't have the book on this guy written already?
Yeah, we know who he is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we know who he is. Why are we pretending we don't?
I thought it was like, hey, let's pretend like Jim from The Office, like nobody remembers who he is kind of thing.
That would be that's a really insane place for your mind to go, I feel. Producer Rue?
That's where mine went.
What the hell?
I get it now,
you said, why are we pretending like we don't know who this guy is award?
Yeah, not why are we pretending that this guy doesn't exist award.
Well, not that, but like...
He is who we know he is.
Yeah, okay, see, now, I get it now, but...
But if I say he is who we... How would you have worded it?
Why are we pretending like... I don't know.
We don't know who this guy is.
No,
we know who this guy is.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said it that way because I didn't think of it in that frame until you told me to.
But I've told you, we had this exact discussion where I said, I think I used these words to you. Because I said, we know exactly who Jacoby Brissett is. Why are we pretending that we don't?
True.
So that's I just flipped it around.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the listeners also went where I did, though.
I would be surprised if people thought that I was talking about an imaginary man
No, not
in my
that.
award.
But, like, why are we pretending like we don't know? I was like, everyone's saying this dude, this dude, this dude, as if we don't all know it's so-and-so. I don't know.
Okay,
well, I understand it now. I get the assignment.
it's more about that a lot of people still want Jacoby Brissett to start, and I don't understand why, because we know who he is, we know what his ceiling is, and there's no future with him. And it kind of came up because when I posted the Sam Howell card on our Instagram, we were getting comments that, like, oh, cool, like, card of a backup quarterback. And it's just, but why would he be the backup quarterback? What's the logic behind making Jacoby Brissett your quarterback? You're not winning a Super Bowl with him. You're not even winning a playoff game with him.
You're not winning 8 games with him.
So why not see what you have in Sam Howell?
I
for a whole
100%
season?
agree with you. Or at least, like, part of it.
So I just don't understand what this logic is, really.
I think it's just, I don't know.
People are like, oh, Jacoby Brissett looked so good. It's like, it's preseason. Who cares what he looked like? It really doesn't matter. We know who he is. The sample size is there. The book is written on Jacoby Brissett. It's not on Sam Howell.
It's not. I
Believe
agree.
in him or not, it's not. He could be good.
We have no idea that he's not good.
Exactly. So
We know Jacoby Brissett's nothing special.
At least find out. Yeah, that's really why. I just don't understand. I don't understand the logic behind it. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like what the Yankees are doing.
Way to tie them together.
Yeah, Dora the Explorer and Invisible Man Award.
Okay, my second award of the week is the Dewey Finn Award.
School of Rock.
That is where his fame was garnered.
Yeah. This could be a couple of things. I assume it's...
If you don't know the story of...
I know the
something
School of
happened-
Rock story.
No. Something that happened in sports recently, it would be tough to guess.
What is it?
Do you want me just to tell you?
Give me a hint. Or what sport is it?
Baseball.
Is it Wander?
No. I don't even know. I don't know how you got there, but no.
Because he was hanging out with kids.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought that's
All
where
right.
you were going this whole time.
No.
Okay, what is it then?
Okay. A pitcher on the Braves. I don't think he was fully on the team, so he was like a substitute teacher to make some money on the side, and he threw 7 scoreless for the Braves the other day. So the award is going to a guy who is a substitute teacher.
I don't know the story,
But his students are like, this guy's not meant to be a substitute teacher. He's destined for great things.
Okay.
And then he threw 7 scoreless for the Braves the other day. Dewey Finn went on to star in what was the Battle of the Bands? So
Which they lost.
yeah, they shouldn't have.
No.
But
They got an encore.
substitute that everyone knew was not meant to do that and was destined for greater things in their preferred profession. His name is Alan Winans, and his students call him Mr. W.
Okay. I thought it was a guy who's unquestionably crossed the line with hanging out with kids and was breaking the law in doing so.
No.
Which is why, and when you said baseball, I was like, wow, you really took it here. So, not Wander, but what's his name?
Alan Winans.
It's a good last name.
His first name is spelled A-L-L-A-N.
I figured as much. That's how I imagined it being spelled. I don't know why, but yeah. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
So you want to go into last take, worst take?
Yep.
All right, you start.
Okay. My last take, worst take this week is going to Twitter user Sean DOLFC. The LFC standing for Liverpool Football Club. I'm not sure if he's a fan, a pundit, reporter, or what. He is verified, but just after Liverpool missed out on Enzo Fernandez last February, he tweeted, in quotes, "Liverpool have no pull," end quotes. Goes out the window in precisely 4 to 5 months. Since then, they have missed out on Declan Rice. They've missed out on Mason Mount. They've missed out on Moises Caicedo. They missed out on Jude Bellingham. They've missed out on Romeo Lavia. So Liverpool have no pull. still around in August.
Okay. I think that's a good one. He was clearly very much so wrong. Was he just, did he have a big following, this guy? I don't remember his name. You said a bunch of letters.
Sean, I'd have to check. The
Oh,
tweet got
LFC?
100,000 views.
The fact that, what's his face, Caicedo said he would only play at Chelsea is pretty crazy, because
Yeah.
Liverpool's like, if they're good.
Yeah.
You know? And they
It's
have
Liverpool.
been good. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. Definitely a bad take. This one is less concrete. It's what Paul Pierce said. It's going to Paul Pierce, that he said he's better than Dwyane Wade, and was better than Dwyane Wade.
Incorrect.
And had a better career, or would have had a better career than Dwyane Wade. He said, put Shaq on my team, put LeBron and Bosh with me. I'm not going to win one. You don't think? Me, LeBron, and Bosh, we're not going to win one? Or we're not going to win a couple? Who's the better three-point shooter? Is he a better scorer? Okay, he averaged more points than me. I can shoot the three, mid-range, I can post up, I can get to the line. Who's a better scorer? Like, okay, Paul Pierce, you could do a lot of things, but just because Dwyane Wade couldn't shoot doesn't mean you were anywhere near as good as him.
No, he wasn't.
The
He also
top-
did play with Shaq. Granted.
He did, but he did play with Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
So he had Hall of Famers on his team too, and he did win one, but Dwyane Wade won two. So, three. You're right. Three. Even better.
Yeah.
So it's just a bad take, and it's Dwyane Wade was when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame. Paul Pierce can be in the Hall of Fame.
That could be another draft.
That would be a good draft. Hall of Fame draft.
Yeah.
Oh, my mind's already going on that.
Blart Mall Cop.
Oh, that's so good. I went George and Chris.
Yeah, and Cliff.
Flip 'em. Yeah, Cliff's good. But either way, Paul Pierce, Hall of Famer, very good player, excellent player. Dwyane Wade's a top 3 shooting guard of all time. Paul Pierce is a top 15 small forward.
Did
10.
Paul Pierce make the 75? He probably did.
I don't remember seeing Paul Pierce as a snub on there, so I'm 99% sure he made it. So when Dwyane Wade made the Hall of Fame, I didn't even finish my thought. He said, I didn't play to be better than Paul Pierce. So, and he was like, and Paul Pierce was a great player, and he probably feels he didn't get enough attention when he played, so now he's got to get attention somehow. Just a huge baller statement by Dwyane Wade. So,
It is, yeah.
It's just wrong.
It is
Just
wrong,
loud
yeah.
and loud and wrong. So, last take, worst take goes to you, Paul Pierce. That wraps it up. Let's do it.
Yeah, good show.
Good
Thank
show.
you, producer Rue. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, me, I guess. That's odd.
Sometimes you're deserving.
Tom, where can our adoring fans follow us?
All right, guys, ready for this? You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Oh, we just got 1,000 TikTok followers.
We
So
did,
thank
yeah.
you for following us. Big time. Very, very exciting. Also follow us on Instagram because I think we gained like 30 followers on Instagram too. So that was pretty cool. We're on all the podcast stuffs. We're on Overcast. We're on iHeartRadio. I think I just got us on some other random one. I put us on all the podcast places. So if you listen to podcasts, you can find us, I promise. Or you're making typos, because that's on you. But you can find us. So like, comment, surprise. Like, comment, subscribe, leave some reviews, do all the nice stuff, help us out. Thank you. See you
Cool.
next week.
528 Breaks Down Podcast.